Hello, everyone. Vincent Beatore here. Thank you for tuning in to watch this episode. I was going to discuss the pink tax and talk a little bit about the gender gap and what my opinions are of this phenomenon. So I know it might be odd, the fact that I'm a male and I'm talking about something that doesn't really affect me directly. However, in the media, when these things come up, I feel as a white man, although I'm 2% East African, but however, I feel personally attacked. I do. And I feel like I have to defend myself. And I sometimes have this knee-jerk reaction to like, oh, no, it's not us. It's not true. It's not happening. And I've learned over time to try to combat that and to acknowledge when something is happening and try to find some reasonable explanations to it. Because I know that personally, I don't go around discriminating against people based on their race, beliefs, or sexuality, whatever. And, I don't think that the majority of people do. So I try to think of alternative, kind of reasons for anything that might happen. So a brief explanation, if you guys are not in the know of this pink tax, it is the notion that on average, a woman pays like $1,300 more per year on, the bare necessities like toiletries and services, because their market, certain products that are exactly the same as male products are in effect more expensive for women. So I did a lot of research on this, and because at first I was like, but it is in fact true. It's very notable with razors, haircuts, dry cleaning, and even children's clothing. Girl clothes, or even underwear, stuff that shouldn't. It's the same. Even people in certain people came forward in certain discussion groups talking about exactly the same exact product. In a store. One's upstairs, one's downstairs. One's in the women's section. It's more expensive. It's marked up. In the men's downstairs, it's more expensive. My first reaction was like, well, this is the market. If someone's willing to pay more for a product, they do all kind of studies on this kind of thing, because in the end, if this was the fact that it was solely discriminatory, somebody would come along and make a cheaper product and women would buy it, right? So I was like, well, it's not fair, and I think it is happening indeed. I think that, with haircuts, women haircuts tend to take more and be more involved on average. However, if a woman has a buzz cut, she goes in, she might get charged more. I don't know. This seems to be the case, the experience that many women have said. And I don't think that everybody's lying, okay? I've seen stuff that costs more. I realize that. Dry cleaning also, dresses tend to take more. But anyway, I get it. We should strive for more equality. And I believe that bringing this stuff up and discussing it is very important, and making women aware of this, that they can buy a man's razor that's cheaper, is important. And we're talking about it. However, I know a lot of women that won't buy a men's razor or that won't buy the other product. They'll just stick with the feminine products. And I think that's why there's this product disparity. You can buy a men's razor, you can buy a woman's razor. These are the things. However, awareness is the key. I do not believe, however, that a lot of these people that talk about the pink tax, which I don't like the tax because you're not forced to pay it. So it's not a tax, okay? You're not being taxed more because you're women. Life is not more expensive because you're a woman. Well, maybe it could be. But it's all upon the individual. And in the end, I don't know. I don't know why promoting this sort of things and government intervention, I don't think is a solution. What are you going to do? You're going to get the government involved? Now, one thing I don't like, I don't think that there should be a tax on tampons. They did talk about that. That seems unfair. A lot of states are doing something about it. I agree. It is a necessity. Let's not tax it. Okay. That's fine with me. I don't think that's right. This is the thing I try to tell guys, if you're watching. Don't have the knee-jerk reaction to constantly deny and feel attacked. Be open-minded. Be open-minded. If it's happening, okay. It's happening. But I just don't like in the media sometimes it's always acting like women are dumb. Like, we treat women sometimes like they're children. Like we got to hold their hand all the time. And it's always, they're charging more, the woman this and that. It's like, come on, let's be reasonable, okay? Let's be reasonable. No one's forcing you to buy things, okay? Now, this is blatant discrimination. Like, we should address it, but you can't force companies to do anything. There's a choice. Everybody has a choice. So bringing it up in talking about it, I think is the right thing to do, rather than demand government intervention. I think that's absurd. Absurd. What do you guys think? Tell me more about the pink tax, maybe your experiences, and we can further the discussion. Another thing I would like to touch on is the gender gap. Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. The gender gap. Pay gap, the gender pay gap, okay? It's a hot button. A lot of, some men is like, it doesn't exist. It's a myth. It's made up for all these reasons, da, da, da. Honestly, I think it's an issue. I think it's true. It's true. It's true. I've seen it in workplaces. I think it's true. There is women on average get paid a little less to do the same job with the same experience as a man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not going to deny it. Anybody who denies it, it's like, why are you denying it? I think anybody who denies it is because they feel attacked. They feel attacked. When you say these kind of things, it's like men are purposely paying women less. Is that what's going on? Even though women are now the CEOs of a lot of major corporations. So you got to think about that. Here's what I think. Here's my opinion on this. For centuries, men have had a very large load on their shoulders. We get judged based on a profession, how much money we make. We have to take care of families, or at least it has been that way. So we put a lot of emphasis on money, and we're tough negotiators, okay? On average, men have to take care of more people. When a man works, he has to take care of more people than a woman. On average, okay? This gap is shortening. I think that women are just not as strong negotiators, okay? They don't demand as much. They don't feel as much of that societal pressure that men feel. And it's a tradition that's gone for hundreds of years. So I think that it's good that we raise awareness of this gap so that women can be more aware of it and demand equal pay and be tougher negotiators to interviews. But I don't think that government intervention, again, is a solution. I don't think that it makes sense to attack people. I mean, it doesn't to me. Honestly, I've hired men, I've hired women in the past. As a business, I pay people fairly. I pay, but a lot of it is based on their prior experience and what they used to get paid and how much I have to pay somebody for them to be happy, for them to perform well. It's not like, I don't think a lot of places have set, like, okay, they have a lot of leeway. And people will, you're an asset, and you're going to make the company money, people will pay whatever they need to get you on their team. So I think women being more aware of this competitive edge is important. However, I don't think that it's going to change. I really don't. The majority of women are just not as aggressive and competitive as your average man. Granted, there are women out there that are fierce. But your average girl, let's be honest, they're just not as aggressive. I think that being insecure is something that affects women on average a little more. I say this tentatively. I'm not trying to say anything bad, okay? But it's the truth. It's the truth. Men on average are more sure of themselves. They have more confidence. They say things in a certain way that is reassuring. I capito. Why is it when something's burning down, they always say, bring out the women and children first? Maybe it's because the mothers. I don't know. The Titanic, they did it too. I don't know. Like this, there's all kind of issues. I just wish men got together and brought up more men issues in the world. Because it feels like men don't have any issues. And I'm telling you, men have a lot of issues. It's not easy being a man in this world. But we never group together and lobby to promote ideas. Like, why are men dying earlier than women? Why are men the ones always in jail? Why is life insurance cheaper for a woman? Why is car insurance cheaper for a woman? Like, there's tons of advantages. There are jobs that women get paid more on average than men, okay? But nobody wants to talk about that, like bartending. There's a lot of jobs where women don't have to do the same physical stuff. Men pick up the slack. Like military. A man works harder in the military than a woman. Way harder. To actually get in the military, your PT test is lower for women, even for the same job. Even though, as a woman, you have a 500% more of a chance of getting a medical discharge than a man. That's a check for the rest of your life. And it's like a 700% higher chance of getting PTSD, even though women, for the longest time, have not been in direct combat roles. So, on average, by a big shot, a woman's going to cost the military a lot more money. That's not even factoring in the breaks and the money when you have a child, okay? And the very high percentage of women that miss deployments because of pregnancies and different things, okay? So, I don't know, but nobody talks about this stuff. We're in a generation where women are seen as they're constantly the victim, so that's all we're going to talk about. And even though a lot of the issues need to be talked about, I just wish men would also bring up things that we need to have addressed. Did you know that way more men die of prostate cancer than women die of breast cancer? Way more. It's never talked about. Women have ribbons and causes and marches and all this awareness. Why? Well, they get together and make it happen. So you can't be mad at them for bringing this stuff up. Let's do something for us too, on our issues. Even this idea that if men want equality, they have to call themselves feminists. My schools, men don't have problems. When's the last time the feminists have brought up and lobbied for an issue that affects only men? No, they don't. I'm a masculist and I believe in equality. Well, it's just a word. Well, I just chose a new word. Why do you have to tell me? And they get fired up. No, if you believe in equality, that means you're a feminist. I'm like, listen, I want to use my word. I'll use masculist. Masculista. It's equality. It's equality. So people get so fired up about stuff. And it's funny. You can sit somebody down and tell them all the injustices that are happening to them. Next thing you know, they get all mad. They get all charged up. They get up, banging their fist on stuff. Yes, you're right. I'm a victim. It's so easy to convince someone they're a victim. You tell them, man, you have it really tough. You're so brave. All this shit happening to you. And they're just feeding it. Yeah. Excuses and that kind of stuff, it's never going to get you ahead in life. And I've never stopped to think about what has held me back and the difficulties that I've had in my life. Being a victim is not going to help you. Stop pointing the finger at other people and work on yourself and bring yourself forward. Does that mean you shouldn't bring up issues of injustice? No, but playing the victim and always making excuses is not going to get you far in life. That's why I don't know. And men, honestly, are kind of raised this way. If a boy falls, hurts himself, it's like, come on, get back up, buddy. It's okay. We're not allowed to just cry and be that way. And that really shows in life and drive. You're not allowed to self-pity, to sit around and be like, oh, poor me. You're expected to get back up and get things done. And this is a difference in how we raise the different genders. It's true. So obviously that's going to reflect in career and in life and in things. It's obviously reflecting. And to think that has no part in it and that we're not different at all is crazy to me. I don't know. What's your opinion? Let's talk about it. All right. Thank you guys as always. Well, no, I don't actually have a saying on this channel. This is my new channel. I also have another channel, Vincent Briatore Crypto. You can look up if you want. But thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, take it easy.